John, Gratcast 116 is underway. I didn't think there was a chance in hell it was going to happen this week, but we're going down and dirty.
What a start. What a start.
God. John, before we even get into your fight at the restaurant,
Season's greetings.
The power's been off all day today. Normally the show starts at 6 p.m. We didn't even get in the studio until 5 p.m.
Yep.
With that, we had a bunch of new moving parts and everything, and we were trying to have a new setup through OBS, and that's a complete mess and disaster.
For the moment.
Yeah, for the moment. We've got all sorts of cables, cords, attachments.
No, yeah. But again, the power outage didn't help. It clearly pushed everything back.
Normally, we're running behind schedule for the show with all the time.
I know. It's ridiculous. Yeah.
So, we're going to use the holidays to get all this tech sorted out. And hopefully for next week's Seasons Beating series, everything's running smoother. So, let's just dive into this, John. Get this show on the road.
Let's do it.
Try and get it in under an hour this time.
I'm ready.
What happened this week? There was a fight at the restaurant?
So this week, I'm in a finer dining restaurant, a higher end restaurant.
Do we need any ding-ding sound effects for fight night? Anything cool?
I honestly don't have any of those.
Sound effects is about all we got today, John.
That's about all I got.
But we do have this nice Christmas background, John, but chilling by the fire.
I actually do like that. I feel a little warmer, even though the studio's a little on the chilly side, truth be told. I actually feel pretty darn good.
Yeah.
Excellent.
But
what happened?
So it's an afternoon, like we're doing a crossover from morning to afternoon shift, day to night shift.
Yeah.
And we have this afternoon tea, okay?
Okay.
And the afternoon tea it's nice.
Little tea party?
Yeah, but it's a little, it could be a 2-top, a 3-top, whatever. So there happen to be people, they're having their tea, and some drunk guys, this almost never happens. And this is the middle of the day. This is like 2 p.m. They come in and they're hammered. They're already hammered.
Were they Australian?
No, actually they were just some drunk white guys, unfortunately. No, just normal drunk white guys.
Okay.
And they'd gotten we were getting loud, and I looked, and they were sitting at a table that wasn't clean. And we don't do that in the restaurant. We don't seat you at a dirty restaurant. We just don't do that.
They seated themselves.
Right. So I'm out there, and I hear one of the very new managers who's trying to crack the whip and be all this. She's like, hello, gentlemen. Did
whip sound effects?
Did one of our? I don't have it. I'm so sorry. You know how I am. I'm horrible at this. So she goes up to the guest and she says, "Excuse me, did the hostess seat you here?" And they were like, "Yeah, the hostess sat us here. We wanted to sit over there, and she said you sit there." And then I just the words came out.
Extra unnecessary information.
And she's
lie.
Exactly. And she looked up, and she looked right at the host stand, and I watched the whole thing happen. I know our hostesses don't do that. Most of them are pretty damn good. One of them might have, but I know it didn't happen because she wasn't working that day. So, that being said,
fired on my day off.
I go up and I tell the manager, I'm like, "Hey, listen, the hostesses didn't see them like that. I saw it just doesn't happen. Right? It doesn't happen." So I go back, and I start to. I'm done with my shift, and I'm starting to change, and I don't even hear about this till the next day, but apparently right after that happened and I left, they had moved to yet another table closer to someone that was having tea. And tea's like it's expensive and it's nice and you're wearing nice clothes.
They don't want drunk
And
Australians
two dudes, they just start going at it. I don't even think anyone knew what the issue was because they were drunk.
So
hammered drunk.
One of the tea guys and one of the
No such luck. Two of the guys that were in the drunk party
in the same party
got into it and then fell onto the tea party table, and then they got pissed, of course, because I don't want anyone falling on my table whether it's a tea party or I'm eating a burger. Like, just get off my table.
That's a real Donnybrook.
And that never happens in that place. It was crazy, and I imagine we're gonna have to do some recovery and give the people who had the tea give them a bunch of free stuff. Well, I mean, fair enough. But it was it was almost like a Donnybrook, I must say.
It was a Donnybrook,
yes.
John. I already claimed it as a Donnybrook.
Oh, you didn't even hear you. Yeah. It's too busy going with the story. But it was interesting because, here you are in this nice restaurant. It's expensive to eat in there, so why are you going to come in hammered? Yeah, they were like your typical bar crowd. It was the weirdest thing. It was weird. And what happened with your week?
The car's dead again, John.
You gotta be kidding me.
It lasted one day.
Dude,
one day.
Oh my God.
But we got to you got a sound effect for that, though. Of course you do. We got to the source of the problem, though, John.
What is it?
We got a slimy car mechanic. Is what it really comes down to.
Oh, slimy car mechanic.
So for those that don't know,
check.
Our car died halfway to San Diego from LA in June, and it's been at a car mechanic guy's place down there, and he was supposed to be replacing the transmission. He billed us for a new transmission, John. Guess what he didn't give us?
A new transmission?
He did not give us a new transmission. So he gave us a broken transmission from a junkyard and told us we were getting a new transmission. But he wouldn't show us. He didn't show us the receipt or the estimate for all the work that was done. Showed the insurance company, but not us, until 4 transmissions later.
4 transmissions.
4 transmissions later. Because you get one from the junkyard, it would immediately break in the first week, and they say, "Oh, they give me a bad one. They'll give me another one. Give me another one." So we didn't know we were supposed to have a new transmission this entire time.
Okay.
And he's been jerking around with broken transmissions out of junkyards to earn an extra $500 on his little side scam. And meanwhile, this is December now, from June. 6 months and 4 transmissions later, the car's dead again, and we're now dealing with lemon laws. We had to get an auto mechanic attorney in here. Apparently, there's an auto mechanic's bill of rights. This guy went right down the list of violating every single last one of them.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah. So we're going to try and get the car taken back, taken under the lemon laws, and.
But you said that there was an issue with not an issue, but like something about the lemon law that you might not be able to file. What is that?
We checked back under the requirements, and your car has to be in the shop so many times over a certain period. Check.
Okay, check.
You have to have no availability to it for a certain period of time. Double check.
Obviously, I know.
The big one is you had to have had the car for less than 18,000 miles.
Okay.
Now, the time the transmission broke the first time, we were at 18,501.
So wait, hang on. So you're saying you were 18,005. So you were 501 miles over
the lemon law.
The lemon law, or 502, depending on how that works. But you were still over by that. What I consider a meager amount, 18,000, and then you have the 5. I mean, that's.
So I mean, we're gonna have the attorney look into it, but at the very least, he committed fraud on the work that he did and all of that. It's just gonna be a long process of getting it all sorted out and resolved. In the meantime, we have no car again.
Execute order.
That's horrible.
If Order 66 gets me a new car, let's get on with it.
Let's get right on with it.
So, beyond that, we are doing something actually kind of cool tomorrow. We're going to be doing a sit-down interview. I'm going to be interviewed by Jeannie Jones. She's going to sit down with me for a couple hours. We're going to do a whole little professional interview.
That's for Wefunder, right?
Yep. It's for the top of our Wefunder page. We're gonna edit that down to the highlights.
Nice.
And that'll be up as part of our Wefunder page and the welcome video. And then the full version of the interview is going to go online after the fact. As soon as we know where we're going to post it, probably just the Gratwick Productions YouTube page. We'll let everybody know, but it's going to be linked to through the short video on the Wefunder page.
Do we know how long it'll be, or is it just going to be kind of off the cuff?
We're booking 4 hours.
Okay.
We got a 4-hour window.
Okay.
We're covering everything, John. My goal coming out of this interview is to not only have people convinced that they want to invest in this company and be on board with what we're doing and all of that. Mm-hmm. But I want the backstory documented so I don't have to tell it anymore. Oh, you want to know the backstory, how we got here, what we did, all of that? Go watch this interview. Boom, done, the end of it. I'm sick and tired of telling everybody the backstory, John. It wastes so much time.
And is it it's a sit down? No, is it a live interview or is it done digitally?
No, it's going to be a recorded interview. We're going to edit it to get down to the sound bites and all of that. The goal is, so with these Wefunder campaigns and crowdfund campaigns and all of that, a lot of people spend a whole bunch of money and all of this stuff on the video and all the bells and whistles, yada, 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 yada. In this sense, we're not, the company isn't going to be the video makers. The company is going to fund filmmakers. The company is going to do marketing. The company is going to do distribution. So, sure, we could spend a bunch of money and hire these people to make all the bells and whistles videos. Mm-hmm. And the promo video, but what I think is going to be more authentic and what I'm hoping is going to be a better conversion tool is a 5 to 10 minute video of pertinent information explained and answered by the founder of the company. look at this guy in the eyes, listen, hear what he has to say, let him tell you and answer the questions you want, and then decide if you want to be a part of it. Anyone can make a snazzy little commercial and waste a bunch of money on pandering to the lowest common denominator.
Yeah.
I want to give you the information. I want you to see the information come directly from me, and then use that to make your decision. So that's what we're going with for our video, John.
I actually like that. It's not your typical just kind of, I'm going to make a commercial, I'm going to throw it at you, and here's what it is. You can ask questions, you have answers, boom.
Yep.
It's
going to be down and dirty.
That's how it's got to be, though, nowadays, in my opinion.
Yeah, our whole campaign page is laid out like this. It's just the facts, right down to this is what we're going to do, this is how we're going to do it. This is what we're going to do, this is how we're going to do it. Boom, 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 all the way down the page.
I mean, isn't that how anyone would want it? You want it cut and dry, black and white. I mean, you want it as basic as you can get it, so you can understand it, you can absorb it, and it's easier to move forward with. I mean, that's how I feel anyway.
Well, that's what we're going with. After months of tossing around, looking at all sorts of different options, layouts, all of this stuff, we're going just the facts, man.
I wish I had that one too.
All right, John. We already touched on the subject. The power was out all day. No good. Got us off to a slow start here in the whole Gratcast.
But let's dig a little deeper for a second. I know you may not want to do that, but I'm gonna dig a little deeper.
Dig on me, John.
One, why is the power off? I mean, that's probably a good question. Did you blow a fuse? Did a tree fall on a power line? Like, what happened?
Our whole little canyon up here, for whatever reason, the power was told, we were all told it was going to be out from 8 to 4 p.m. today. Of course, it didn't come back at 4 p.m.
Okay. Did they tell you why it was out 8 to 4 p.m.? Or 8 till...
General maintenance, sticking around with the electrical poles.
So that's what happens way out here in the middle of nowhere.
Well, they got to make it look like they're making an effort on the power lines and everything up here, because they're still guilty and responsible for the fire that happened up here last year and caused all sorts of damage and everything and all of that. So as long as every month or so they come up, shut the power down, and work on this stuff, now they can't, well, we're working on it all the time. I don't know what you want from us.
No, you mean you're turning it off and turning it on? Is that considered working on it? Didn't you say you drove down there and you didn't see them working on it?
Supposedly they were working on a telephone pole in the park. I did a lap around the park when I was still trying to figure out why the power wasn't on after 4 o'clock, and I saw no power crew, John.
Yeah, that's all the way to the bank, my friend. All the way to the bank.
You are dropping some sound effects, though.
Trying to get a little better.
That.
Trying to get a little better.
Here's a little interesting thing that did happen this week, John. Bills-Lions.
Bills-Lions.
Longtime preseason rivals renewed their bitter rivalry late in the season here in what one might consider another preseason game.
And it was a barn burner.
Oh, was it ever, John? I'm going to catch you up on all the exciting things that happened.
Yeah, throw them down because John had to work again during the football game, so hit me with it.
Josh Allen ran for a 7-yard touchdown run, made it to the corner before the defense could get there.
Nice.
Not a bad play. And Josh Allen threw a 42-yard touchdown pass to Robert Foster.
Nice.
That's pretty much all she wrote.
Good for the rookie. Good for the rookie. Well, I mean, I will say this. I was
really looking for a field goal drive out of your team at the end.
I will say, yeah. But
Stafford did not look good.
But good like the Lions. I think Stafford does not like Matt Patricia, therefore is not playing well on purpose because he does not like Patricia. That being said,
Stafford ain't got a lot of years left to be burning a few to kill a coach.
That's what I'm saying. So we do have our third-round receiver from last year, Kenny Galladay's
freaking a beast.
He's a beast. He's a future number one. I gotta say, he goes up, he comes down with that ball, man. He looks good. He's the one good thing in Detroit we got.
I'd say he's better than any receiver on the Bills right now.
Oh, really?
Oh, they got nothing.
Well, who's your boy? I thought Zay Jones. I thought I read an article that he might be rounding into form. Is he not?
He had one good game, and they jumped on writing those
Did they say he was
articles.
Hall of Fame? He was already Hall of Fame. He had one good game. This guy's going down as one of the best in history. Yeah. I know how Buffalo is.
Zay Jones is a Zay-appointment.
What? A Zay disappointment? Zay disappointment?
Yeah.
So it must have, because I saw your text. That's why I said barn burner. And I was like, well, I'm literally working right now. I can't even watch it.
Yeah. That was derogatory, John.
Was it? I know. Was it just a typical boring Bills-Lions game? Just why watch it, right?
There was only scores in 2 quarters. The second and the fourth. It was just an ugly bad game, and we had to win it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
2 weeks in a row, the Bills
puts us at the same record, but you have the
tiebreaker. The last drive. 2 weeks in a row, we've lost on the last drive, which has gone perfectly according to plan. Josh Allen looks good, makes some plays, gets some experience. Yeah. We keep it close.
Sure.
Oh, we accidentally lost on the final drive. No, not this week. The Lions couldn't take the gimme.
Because the Lions had to lose. We had to lose. Make it look good. Look good.
Yeah. So, my whole thing is the Jets. The Jets and the Bills both drafted franchise quarterbacks this year, and they both have basically the same records right now, and they both split their head-to-head series this year. Mm-hmm. So it's a nail biter right down at the end of the season on which one's going to draft before the other one.
Yeah.
And they both need the same shit, John. They both need to add weapons around their franchise quarterback. So you don't want to be the second one every single round through the draft.
Well, I'll tell you this. Let's go back a second. Remember, you traded up for Sammy Watkins, and you could have had a lot better. So you don't mind. There could be multiple receivers that you could actually get a solid receiver.
But you just don't want to be the one that's always taking
you want your choice of the cream of the crop.
You want your choice of that, and not picking from everybody but that guy.
Yeah.
Oh, next round, everybody but that guy.
Here. So now it's just tank for first. Is that what it is? Try to?
No, they've got 5 wins now, which is going to at least put them.
Yeah, we're at 7th right now. The Lions after losing to you, I think 7th overall.
Aren't you guys like 7 and 8?
No, it's not week. It's week 14.
No. How many wins do you guys got?
We're 5 and I think 9 after playing you. So that's week 14, right? And there's 2 more weeks.
Yep,
3 more weeks. Yeah.
Here's a thought I had during Sunday football, John. I don't understand why this isn't done more. If I was a GM or a head coach, I would only hire the cream of the crop coaches and assistants and all that stuff from my division opponents.
Oh.
Here's why. Number one, because you're strengthening your team by weakening their team at the same point.
Taking that coaching talent away, sure.
And you're getting intimate knowledge of your opponent in division. And if you keep doing that long enough, you're going to create internal chaos throughout your division. Because all of the established people on the other franchises are going to be worried about their best talent, grooming them up, giving them all the secrets. Oh, how long is it before Kris comes and poaches you and you're working for the division rivals?
I mean, that's true. That's true.
They're always going to hold back with their most precious and talented.
But what if nobody's assistants? What if you don't have a good division?
Come on. There's always going to be people within.
Do you remember when the NFC West, the best team that was in the NFC West that went to the playoffs, they were 7 and 9 and they still made the playoffs? Come on, dude, who are you going to poach from those teams if the best team is 7 and 9? Well, be poaching from those guys.
There's exceptions to every rule,
there you
John.
go. Okay, fair enough. That's what I'm looking for.
But I think this strategy should be implemented a whole lot more.
I think it's pretty smart. And actually, I know we're going to start moving, but I do like the new breed of coaches, as it were, in the NFL. More innovative, just they're doing a lot of different things and trying things that you don't normally see.
Some of them
bringing
are
some
still
college stuff.
A little afraid of the stats and the advanced odds and advanced analytics.
Yes.
But it's getting there. It's getting better.
I'm going to see, and I'll wrap up on my side on this. I'm going to give Matt Patricia a bye on the whole year because when you come in with a new coach, you can't always just expect to have amazing results the first year. Everyone's got to adjust.
He had a busy offseason, too, fighting off a lot of accusations and drama and stuff. So
of course, it's got to be a Detroit coach, though. It's got to be something to do with Detroit. Always something, it feels like.
Well, at this segment, we were going to talk about this cool program called OBS and how we were moving everything towards OBS and we were going to start doing our broadcasts and all this. And it was going to be a lot better. We're going to add more graphics and videos and all of this cool stuff without having the audio issues that Sling Studio offers. Unfortunately, OBS does not want to cooperate with us, John. So we're going to continue working on that and playing with it a little bit. And hopefully we'll have a solution for next week's season's beatings. But right now, OBS is not looking good. Now, it's the week before Christmas, John. This is the meat and potatoes of our episode this week. The week before Christmas, John.
Why is that so important, Kris?
I don't know. Without snow, it just doesn't feel like Christmas.
I was talking to one of my faves, another Uber driver, and that's what we talked about. It was just like he was talking about how there's no seasons. Like you don't see the leaves change. I'm like, yeah, it's December right now. We're driving down the road. All the leaves are green. The sun is out. It's 60 degrees. Of course, the 2 seasons are warm and warmer, and that's why time just zips by here, and you don't realize it.
I don't even realize it's holiday season until you get anywhere near a shopping center. Then you're like, oh yeah, it's the week before Christmas. I completely forgot.
I'm sure that's only partially true because you're online so much. You probably see a ton of online Christmas ads, I imagine.
Yeah, but this. I said this to Andrea as soon as we got back from Buffalo in early November. Mm-hmm. It's like in Buffalo, there's snow on the ground. It's dark. It's gray. It just feels like the winter holiday seasons and all of that. There's Christmas lights on from 4 p.m. to 4 a.m. It's from late October until mid-January. It just feels like the Christmas season all day, every day.
Sure.
But like here, it's December 25th, and it still doesn't feel like Christmas.
Just everything's closed. It's just a closed sunny day.
Yeah,
that's all it is.
There's no vibe in the air with Christmas.
No,
so,
I agree.
Going back to your childhood here, John.
Yeah, let's do that.
What was your favorite Christmas memory? Do you have a favorite Christmas or a time that
I actually
had a tradition?
We did have a tradition actually. My mom raised us by herself, my brother and I, and so we would end up going to her father's place, which was in a nice rich city called Bloomfield Hills. Ooh. Or West Bloomfield. They'll kill me, but I don't remember because I wasn't. Yeah, right. And my grandfather was
step up or step down from Grosse Point Blank.
Sidestep.
Okay.
Sidestep to a step up. Like, yeah. So my grandfather he was Chinese, Henry Yi. Yeah, exactly. He owned Chinese restaurants, so he walked the stereotype. But we would go over there and we would see that side of the family once a year. And it was interesting because I've always felt like we were the poor family coming to the rich family's event, because that's just because you're going to a nice place. They've got this huge house. It's just amazing, a huge spread. They've got a lot of money and so on and so forth, or at least that's how I saw it anyway. And it was just incredible because it was my mom, my brother, and myself. My mom had remarried, so I suppose my stepfather, of which I know you don't refer to him, yours as your stepfather. That being said, it was just interesting because my uncles are there, my aunts are there, so it's not just us and those relatives. Like, it's the family Christmas, and it's great. And one thing I really remember was, I don't know why he had it. It was like a tiger skin rug with the head attached, and it had like crystal, like emerald eyes, like I don't know, it was literally emerald, but they were like striking green. And it always scared me every Christmas to go there because it was in like a dining room and there was a tape. It was just the weirdest thing. Have you ever seen a tiger rug? I've never seen a bear rug.
I don't know if it was a real one.
But I was a child, as you said. So, but I always appreciate. Seriously, yeah, exactly. And I remember opening some gifts there. It was just, I don't know. There was nothing really that stood out a ton other than I just remember the warmth of the family. But every time I'd left, I always felt colder for it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, maybe I felt so much good emotion in a moment, and then I stepped out of it and I didn't.
It kind of shined a spotlight on the deficiencies in your family dynamic.
I mean, potentially, yeah. But it was a lot of fun. First, I dreaded going because I felt like they judged us because we were less than them. And they didn't. I spoke to them later, and they said they didn't. And
what are they gonna say?
Then I know, right? Well, now we're adults. They could say, like, we all get along still. We're all good stuff. So good stuff. So I would dread it, and then we'd get there, and then it would kind of warm up, and they'd be fun. And they had like a ping pong table always, and a racetrack, and it was some fun stuff. So it was fun to go out and be around other family members. Of course, family you're gonna, but still, I don't know. I know I didn't really lock down a single solitary moment, but I just enjoyed those. I really enjoyed Christmases because that's what we would do, and it was fun to see another side of the family, even though it was like 45 minutes away. I don't know. What about yourself?
We had some cool Christmas traditions that I always enjoyed.
Okay.
At home, my family, we never decorated the tree until the night before Christmas.
Okay.
And the kids didn't decorate the tree. Santa Claus decorated the tree.
Oh.
So when we woke up in the morning and all of that, my mom and my dad were always like real big on, you guys can't go into the living room until you wake us up so we can go into the living room, turn all the lights on, and be on the couch to see your faces when you come around the corner with the presents and the tree and all of that. And it always was cool to go to bed on Christmas Eve with the tree not decorated and then wake up the next day and all the lights are on, the tinsels and all.
Sure.
Yeah, so that was always cool. But then we had, do you know what Playmobil is, John?
It sounds so familiar. I just don't seem to recall. I'm sure if you talk about it.
Playmobil is kind of like it's not Legos in the sense that you can build. You can't build with them. They're all prefabricated already.
Okay.
But it's little characters and horses. And
were they round? Were the
and...
characters like round but flat on the bottom? They didn't really have legs per se.
No, they had legs, and you could bend them over and move their arms. Little figurines.
Did they have like you could be like an ambulance packet, or they could be like a fireman packet?
Yeah. There was all different.
I do vaguely recall. I do vaguely.
So we had like farms and
okay, because they had the cows and the horses you could play with. I gotcha.
So we'd have like a little whole Playmobil village set up under the tree and that, and then the train would go around all of it and that. So we had the typical train around the Christmas tree and all of that.
Okay.
But what I really loved for Christmas and that we did every year was my grandparents' house on my mom's side. They had what was called the no-touch room, and the whole rest of the year, you can't go in the no-touch room. But Christmas, for the family Christmas with a big extended family, because my mom there were 6 of them all together, so 5 aunts and uncles, each of their families and all that. Yeah. So we always had an awesome big family Christmas over on that side. And everybody, the grandkids and all that, would go in the no-touch room, and we'd get to be in there for the presents. And I don't know why this sticks in my mind so much, but they had a rotating Christmas tree. And to me, it was always the coolest thing ever.
Was it like a ceramic thing? When you turned it played a song as it rotated?
No, it was a full-size Christmas tree.
Okay.
But the Christmas stand was motorized, so the tree...
Okay, no, I said it was on display, so to speak. Just spinning in a circle.
It was a rotating Christmas
tree. Sure.
I was always excited to go to Grandma's house for Christmas and see the rotating Christmas tree.
Let's just say this. That's cool, and obviously it's always good to go to Grandma's house. But the no-touch room sounds, one, very weird. I'm sorry, it just does. The no-touch room, it just sounds very strange. And 2, what else may have been in the no-touch room that you can't go in the rest of the year? That they're like, maybe they're going to do their private adult things in the no-touch room, so you can't go in the no-touch room.
It had a nice pink rug, so nothing could be spilled on it. It had nice white furniture, so you couldn't touch any of that. That's where all Grandma's knickknacks were and all the little ceramic
So the
things.
no-touch room was just like a display room, and that's it, and you could see it once a year.
It was a very fancy living room that we weren't trusted to live in.
It's what you use when the Queen visits.
Yes, but clearly she's never going to visit.
But the irony is...
Potentially.
After my grandma passed... For whatever reason, my grandpa that had set up shop in the living room that was the hosting living room decided to relocate into the no-touch room and just turn that into an everyday living room and completely destroyed the aura of the no-touch room.
Right, so that just became an average everyday touch room.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. That's what you get.
Yeah. So what about this year, John? Any big plans for Christmas this year?
Oh, yeah. As a matter of fact, I do. I'm working.
Oh.
Again.
What part-time employee isn't working the holidays?
Oh, man. Now that this joke that you're like the hardest working part-time employee, I've got that going at work now. I've got it going at work now. I'm having them spread it. And I'm like, you know what? I will say this, though. In all seriousness.
At work, you're the only people who watch the show?
I don't even know if they watch the show, but I'm just telling them.
I thought that's where they picked it up
No,
from.
I told them about it. I had to
Gave yourself a nickname?
Yeah. Huh? Why didn't name the no-touch room? Anyway,
I didn't.
I know. I'm just saying. So I did actually go to HR. That's human resources for y'all that don't know. And I spoke to them. I don't really complain a whole lot, so hopefully my words carry a little more weight.
Hashtag John too.
There you go. But I didn't raise the voice. I didn't get angry. I didn't do it that way. I'm like, the first time, I'm gonna go in cool. I'm gonna go in smooth.
You should have gone anywhere in your eye patch.
That's strange. So anyway,
just a little intimidation.
Anyway, I could have though. Anyway, so I go in.
What, right when you're about to make your point, flip up the other patch.
For sure, the eye's all wonky. Yeah. Anyway,
don't make me.
So I told him. I told him. Long story short, I told him that I was very tired and frustrated. And I'd say the last 4 or 5 days I'd come in, I was actually literally I came in angry, and I don't come in. I'm not an angry person in general. I can rant, but I'm not normally an angry person. So I come in. Takes like an hour or two just to calm down. Breathe easy. It doesn't help. It doesn't help my serving skills. It doesn't help all that. So
it's not good for customer
anyway. So I
relations.
told them that, and they're like, "Oh, I understand." And the one woman I spoke to actually worked in our restaurant for probably 6 months before she transferred to HR. So she worked with me as well, so she knows. So I told her I just finished the rest of my issues. I said what was up. I didn't complain. I didn't complain about one person in particular. I just said I don't want this entity dominating my life. I just don't. And it's not going to. So I'm thinking about quitting. And she was like, "No, we don't want that." And I'm like, "The words are great. I don't need the talk
service.
Exactly. I don't need that." So the next day, and there's no proof, but the next day, the guy who makes the schedule, my boss, comes in and he's just like, hello there, Mr. Hoadley.
Oh, boy.
How are you doing? And I'm like, oh, you must have spoken to HR. I didn't say that, but I was like, oh, I'm like, well, I'm okay, but a little frustrated, working too much as a part-time employee. He's like, no, I know it's difficult, and this and that. I'm like, no, I understand. He's like, actually, though, I've got some good news that we've got 2 new interviews. And I'm like, oh, instantly you've got 2 new interviews just because I spoke to HR, huh?
Should have spoke to HR.
Well, no, I did it, but now there's some rumblings going on, like the head of HR, she's like getting released or something.
I'm saying for the inappropriate touching.
Well,
you felt threatened and intimidated to work more shifts than you want to.
Oh yeah, right. I was. What is it when you do something?
A hostile environment.
Yes, but you do it under duress. I said I'd do it, but I was under duress. So. He says we're going to do some interviewing on a couple more people. We might not get him in before the holidays, of course, because, it's like, but get him in ASAP. So, because I'm like, I know it's illegal. I did use the illegal term to work a part-time employee full-time hours for stretches at a time. It's one thing if it's like, hey, we need you this week. We're so sorry. Hey, I understand. Things happen. Not, hey, you can have your part-time hours once every now and then when you complain enough about it. I'm like, no, I don't like that. So, that's happening, and I think that's going to be a good thing moving forward for many different reasons.
That sounds like a great Christmas, John.
I want to do more stand-up. I want to get my tubby butt out of here and start doing some more stand-up as well. So I will be doing that.
Do we need a John stand-up section each week?
Potentially. I thought about using my Instagram a little more. I have a whopping 5 photos on my Instagram. People are like, we'll follow you. I'm like, I only have 5 photos. We don't care. What? Okay.
Hashtag Yonalism.
It is, even though you're pronouncing it wrong. Johnalism.
It's Yonalism.
It's journalism.
It's J-A-O-N.
Why are you telling me how to pronounce the word that I made up?
Because you're just deciding how it's pronounced.
You're deciding how it's my word.
Society.
I can say anything I want.
Society has decided how you pronounce
No.
J-H-O.
No.
Hyun.
No.
Hyun.
No, that would be J-H-O-N in your world, and that's not how it is.
J-H-O-N is Hyun.
No. The H is still silent.
Hyun.
You can put the H in front of the name, it's still silent. H. John would still be John. I'm just saying. Hey, your name's Kris. You can spell it any way you want. You can say it any way you want. I can say your name's Kris because that's the way it looks.
And the amount of people when I say Kris with a K that try to spell K-H-R-A-S.
Do they?
Oh, my God.
Well, see, there you go. What are you talking about? Yonalism. Anyway.
Well, if I spelled it like that, I'd pronounce it Kris.
You can call it whatever the hell you want, buddy.
All right. Well,
I wish we had a good apple pie because I do love a good apple pie.
I wish that we were able to play each other in this week's Seasons Beatings tournament coming up, John.
I wish we could do that too.
I would give you a Seasons beating.
I would give you a Seasons beating if we could play Madden, but that's not the point.
Oh, because why? Because the computer tilted in your
Because
favor?
Madden sucks, bro. Because Madden. What?
Anyway.
Elabs, December 22nd.
Saturday, December 22nd, 4 p.m. They're running a Seasons Beatings tournament for the Mutant Football League game. Now, the cool part about this, John, is it's free to enter. $100 prize to the winner of each tournament. I say each tournament because there's 4 different tournaments that are going to be run simultaneously. Xbox, PlayStation, Switch, and PC are all rocking 16-person brackets. So it's kind of actually going to be like an NCAA bracket, 64-man tournament coming down to the Final Four.
Yeah.
The only difference is we're just not going to be able to barrel through the Final Four because they're each going to be on different platforms. Why can't we cross-platform?
I was just going to ask if
Fortnite can do it.
Yeah.
The second Fortnite did it, the floodgates should have opened.
Yeah.
They should have just opened, John.
Yeah.
Why can't I Fortnite on Red Dead?
Yep.
Why can't I Fortnite on Madden? Why can't I Fortnite on No Man's Sky? No Man's Sky is supposed to be this quintillion universe. It's all da-da-da-da-da-da. How many quintillion universes are there? Because if Xbox is a quintillion universe, they got a quintillion universe. And now I'm starting to think we're all on different servers too, which means even more different quintillion universes.
I'm already confused. My head's spinning.
Rocket League and freaking Fortnite both embrace crossplay, and everyone else is still acting like it's a scary monster in the room. Don't pretend like it doesn't exist. I don't understand it. Why wouldn't you want crossplay?
I wish I could answer that question. I had something I thought I was going to say, and I'm like, I really don't know.
All right,
because
John.
logic dictates to me that you would, because now you're covering them all, and then since you can play on any platform, it would encourage you to buy other platforms potentially, or go to someone else's and play, and you could do. It's great. I was playing. I'll even tell you. I told you a while back. Fortnite. I was playing with a friend. I was on my computer. He was on a computer. His friend was on a what are those called again?
Tablet.
Sorry, a tablet or an iPad, and his friend's son was on the Nintendo Switch or whatever. So all these different things. Yeah. So it was just crazy. So why can't you do it with these other games? Why don't you?
By not doing it, you're fracturing your player pool. So instead of all of these people that are online playing Red Dead Redemption, and you've got full multiplayer games all over the place, you're fracturing them by platform. And now if there's not enough PlayStation people online playing and all of that, you're going to have not full rooms and not full servers and all of that. It just got time for that. It makes no sense to me when there's so much content out there, there's so many games out there, there's so many things to choose from. Your user pool is spread thin by fracturing it even further with platforms. Whereas Fortnite, you've always got 100 people ready to go on a drop because they're coming from everywhere. I don't know. But yes, so Saturday, December 22nd, the Seasons Beatings tournament. We're going to be broadcasting the tournament. Up until today, I was quite confident it was going to be a spectacular broadcast. Now there's going to be a lot of tech tests this week to make sure we are up and ready to go. But that's the good part of why we're doing this tournament with Elabs, John, because they're still working out the back end of their whole tournament platform, and that they've got to keep running tournaments to make sure everything's working properly. So we're going to start broadcasting tournaments to make sure everything's working properly until we get a nice functioning system up in order and repeatable week in and week out. All right, John. Moving right along, we're going to get this show in under an hour. We've got the best part of the day.
And that is...
Discord questions!
Woo!
What do we got, Andrea? Andrea's back in the room with us today.
Hello.
Yeah. Hello.
So, we have 2 questions.
2 questions.
One is serious and sad.
Dose.
One's kind of happy. Which one do you want?
Let's go with serious and sad first.
Yeah, we're going to have to end on a happier note, for sure.
All right. Well, Siobhan would like to know... Today, Friday, when she asked for our Friday feedback. Today is the 6th anniversary of the Sandy Hook shooting. On this day, they received a shooting threat. On Friday, the one that just happened.
There was a bunch of bomb threats that day, if I remember correctly.
At the Sandy Hook school again.
Yeah,
they got another threat.
That's pretty low.
Yeah.
I actually heard there was a threat at the one Columbine, too, had a threat last week.
Another school in Richmond, Virginia, received a tip from a mother that her child took a family member hostage, had a gun, and was headed to school.
No good.
In the wake of what has become a constant tragedy reported in the news, what do you think we can do as a community to stop these senseless shootings and violence against our children?
Well, I will have to say this. It kind of annoys me because I got to go to Strawberry with my gang and take care of some business. But I suppose if we have to really address the issue... I don't know how to address the issue. It's strange. I don't know why this continues to happen, in all seriousness. I just don't... What is the point? What is the point of people doing this? Now, obviously, nobody knows, because if we did, we wouldn't be having this discussion. But on the anniversary of that event, somebody calls the same school and throws down another threat? I don't understand. Was this person caught, or it was just an anonymous phone call? And
the threat called in.
And what was the question again? Repeat it for me one more time. I'm sorry.
How do we stop this from happening?
How do we stop it? See, that's such a tough question. I mean, that's not easy. I think we should blend together on this answer.
Well, I just think it's quite simple. I think there is no stopping it. I think it's going to become more and more prevalent. We've reached a tipping point with society where there's the haves and a whole lot of have-nots. And if you're a have-not and every day sucks, every day is shitty, people are going to reach a breaking point. People are going to reach a breaking point where they don't want to have another shitty, crappy day. And people are going to reach a breaking point where they're ready to quit, they're ready to check out, they're ready to snap, all of these things. And the reality of the situation that nobody wants to talk about is if you're a bitter, angry, resentful person that is already decided in your head that you want to check out, there's nothing stopping you. In fact, you're almost embracing the mindset of, let me take as many people down with me as I can before I go. And you can't stop a single individual that wants to cause as much damage as they can when they don't care about dying. What are you going to do? You're going to arrest this person, and then what are you going to do? You're going to threaten to put them in the death penalty. So they're going to die either way. So you can't stop somebody that's given up on life and they want to hurt other people. That's the big elephant in the room. And how much of other people's rights and other people's freedoms and other people's safety are we going to stomp on to try and act like we can control the lone wolf, the renegade psychopath? The real thing that scares the shit out of me is not some teenager with a gun. It's some teenager with technology. In the next 3 to 5 years, going even beyond that, the ability and the power that's going to be in a single individual's hand is going to be incomprehensible compared to a gun today.
But children don't think that way. Children don't think about the power that way. They want to see results. They want to, if they're hurt, they want to see someone else in pain. Misery loves company makes the most sense in children who don't understand.
But let me ask you this:
you're missing my point, though. A gun can only cause so much damage. Tomorrow, there's another weapon that can cause even more damage. That's better than a gun now.
Right.
Each day, but weapons get smaller and smaller. How long before the technology there that somebody can make a nuclear bomb in their basement? You can make every other bomb in their basement.
Or perhaps you could create a virus that just now it floats through the air, and a gun can kill 100 people, but a virus can kill thousands. Or
the amount of damage a single individual can do is only going to get more and more and more profound until how I think this all ends, how the whole spinning globe comes to an end, is a single disenfranchised asshole that has enough power in their hands to say, I'm going down and I'm taking the whole damn thing with me. I think that's 50 years or less away.
So is that logic now, well, I'm not going to be here, so no one else deserves to be here? Or it's probably better somewhere else, so I'm going to take as many people with me, whether they want to or not? Or I'm always curious as to why bring people with you? What's the point?
Because if you're so angry at the world and you feel the world
want to rob them of their lives too.
If you feel the world has wronged you so much that you want out and you want to kill yourself, you want to walk away. There's people that embody that anger. It's this person's fault. It's that person's fault. It's a guy that snaps in a Madden tournament and blames everybody else for it. So you're all going with me. It doesn't matter what it is. A person that has hit their breaking point is always going to find reasons why I need to put this pain on other people.
Yeah, that's true.
And whether it's verbal abuse, physical abuse, or deathly violence. If you're that checked out, you're that angry, and you're going to kill yourself anyway, why would you not want to impose yourself on as many people that hurt you as possible? It's just common sense. If you try to put yourself in somebody else's shoes, you can understand why these psychopaths go down with checklists. Because they're blaming everybody else and all of these different things, and they have nothing to lose. You can't hurt somebody that has nothing to lose.
Well, what's interesting about, I think it was the Sandy Hook, as a matter of fact. I've talked about Dr. Peterson on here before a while back. I know I did. And he actually had mentioned that he knew what the kids at Columbine were thinking. They're like, what were they thinking? Because he read their manifesto or whatever they had. And he's like, this is how I know. And they were just like you said, they were sick of it. They were over it, and they wanted to just bring the whole thing down. But that's what they said. So it's like you saw in their words why they did what they did. They felt this way. It wasn't things weren't working, or however they had actually was worded, and so they took that extreme action to take as many with them as they could. I still
when your life is at least, I don't know, sustainable, decent, you've got good days, you've got bad days, all of that.
Yeah.
But to somebody else, your life looks amazing, looks fantastic, looks beautiful. The Instagram world, everybody only sees through the rosy window on the Instagram.
Yeah.
Now you're on the other side of that, and you're a depressed person. You've got maybe bipolar. All these issues already, and all you see is happiness on them, and struggle for me. Now it's not that person's fault,
right?
But you've now saying they've got everything, I've got nothing. You've manufactured anger and resentment onto that person.
Sure, because you're like, I'm working my tail to the bone, and they're not even working hard. And look all that they have. That's not fair.
And it doesn't matter if it's a false perception. It doesn't matter if it's fairly accurate. It's not hard to understand why, when the whole world is around flaunting what you gosh, #blessed, that somebody that doesn't have those things gets sick and tired of having it rubbed in their face constantly. Everywhere I look, they've got that. They've got that. They've got that. Again, you can't use sex to sell everything and then get surprised when you've got a bunch of pent-up freaking males that can't get laid that are angry because everywhere they look, everyone else is having hot sex.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's just...
That's been used for advertising since advertising started, though. That's just men.
Exactly.
But that's the point.
That's the point.
No,
how many times can you keep doing that?
All the time. You're always jealous of someone else who had... It's the primal
You can't keep shoving that onto people's faces more and more and more and say, hey, everyone else is having hot sex, you're never going to have hot sex. And that doesn't matter if that's the reality or the fact. That's the perception in the point of the view of somebody that's already broken inside. You have to not sit here and say, well, that doesn't make any sense. That's not what a rational person does.
We're not going to be able to make sense because we don't have the background that these people do.
We're not dealing with rational people. If you start from a point where the person already isn't making smart decisions, they already have their perception of everything tainted by negativity, you can real easily start to understand why a person with disrupted decision-making processes would make these messed up decisions. Yeah. They've already given in to ego. It's fun to call everybody haters. We're haters. You don't like what I'm doing. Because
it dismisses you.
But the hater,
it makes you less than you are.
The person that is the hater has already given in to the anger, the darkness, the resentment. I don't like what you're doing because I can't do it, because I can't have it. You've got all this, that, and the other thing. They're a hater for a reason because they've given into the darkness. Let's use Star Wars here. It's just like when he's trying to convert Luke Skywalker at the end of the first one. Good, give into the power. Actually, Empire Strikes Back. Freaking feel the hate coursing through your veins. You give into that long enough, and you can cause lots of damage.
Sure.
It sounds corny and superficial to use the Star Wars analogy with all of that, but once you start going down that road of darkness and you give into the hate, there's no limit to how much anger you can unleash on society.
Sure.
And that's just, nobody wants to confront that. Nobody wants to have that conversation, John. Because
nobody wants to have the conversation about the dark side of themselves, because everybody has it. There was actually, I'd seen a video, and I'll end it quickly because this is going to go down a dark path. But it's like, if you were born a German in that time and you were raised, you would probably be for the execution of the Jews. And I'm not saying that it's a good thing, but you have to realize that if you were raised in that time and in that place, that's what you knew. That's what you were taught. So therefore, you have to have, everyone has to have it in them. You have to, because if you're raised that way, you're that way. It's not, I'm different, I'm special. Maybe you are. Most likely you're not. You're like everyone else. That's why when they go into the military, your average person can't just shoot somebody. You got to be trained, brainwashed, controlled, boom, 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 boom. Same thing there. They just had more of a nationalistic pride, and it went so on, and I don't know all the details, but obviously everyone knows how World War II went. And the whole thing is you have to understand that everyone has that within them. Everyone has it. It just happens, like you said. It's if you're not raised in the inner city, then you might not have those problems. And maybe you're raised in the suburbs, so you don't have those issues. But people do, and they'll look at the people in the suburbs like, "Hey, you have all this, and I don't. And we're busting our asses, and we don't have it." So I can see definitely what you're saying in that regard. Yeah. Most assuredly.
It's just when the whole world is based on flaunting what you have, and you have nothing to flaunt.
Yeah.
It's easy to be lonely. It's easy to be sad.
Sure.
It's easy to be jealous.
Yeah.
We're all of the great happy time feelings that we're pushing all over the place for a lot of different reasons, and a lot of this is the social media me generation.
Right.
All of that stuff. There's a give and take to it. A yin and the yang. You're putting all that positivity out in the world, but a lot of that positivity is what's making a lot of the negativity. Because there's a lot of people out there, and it's no fault of the positive people. They shouldn't stop being positive.
Exactly. Don't stop being positive.
It's tarnishing someone else, but you have to. You can't be delusional and think that's not happening. You have to at least be aware of it.
But they are partially tarnishing themselves too, because it's about perception. I've actually met rich people that don't want to give me money, but they're not happy. Not some of them. They're not happy, and then I've actually met people who are broke. And they're so much happier. So it's not about making the money that makes the happiness. Do you see what I'm saying? There is that disparity, and there is, of course, a lot of people who are like that. And they are like that. But I'm just saying, it's really about choice and perspective. And if you can choose to view your situation as not the darkest of all the darks and the negative of all the negatives, you have to pull out the good in your life so you can actually take, because everyone's worth something. So you have to take that worth out. And you have to find it within yourself. And I know it's not easy. I've had very dark moments, believe me. I mean real dark moments in my life. And I'd say within the last 6 years I've had those. But I've come through them because I've learned it's like wallowing in that doesn't help me. It only hurts me, and it makes life less enjoyable, and it's shitty. Do I want more? Yes. Can I get more? Yes. Am I getting more? I'm working on that. It's working. But you have to keep pushing and taking one step at a time. I always say this. One step at a time. That's what you got to do. But I think we really kind of dragged this one out. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. So moving on to the happy Discord question.
Yes, I know, right?
What do we got next, Andrea?
Greg wants to know, any chance on coming to LA and seeing a Gratcast in action? Maybe taking part in one?
Well, Greg, seeing how I know that you've already got your flights booked for mid-March, there is going to be a Monday during that week, and we've got a big enough desk now, even with another big guy coming in, to squeeze you in on the show.
And just think, yeah, right?
That was easy.
Yeah, that was easy.
Pretty short and sweet, to be honest. Yeah, you're more than welcome, Greg. Come on.
We got a Greg Labria cameo coming in March. Yeah, he's a Dallas fan. It's even worse than a Viking fan. All right, John. It is time to move on to the Bullet Blitzes.
And most assuredly, we are right.
Now, we had a little thing figured out for how to decide who goes first, but I've already abandoned that and completely forgot what it was.
So when he said we, he means he, and he didn't tell me.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm not sure who went first last week.
Okay, so I'll just go first.
Yes.
Okay, so I actually added another one.
3 Bullet Blitzes?
Well, I didn't tell you, but we'll see how it goes, because this is actually pretty good. So I just saw a video of a dog carrying a sled up a snowy hill, and then it got on the sled, and it rode down the sled, and then it carried the sled up the hill again and did it again. So you know it wasn't a fluke. So I think that was adorable, because I love dogs. My question to you is this. What is one of the coolest things any one of your pets has ever done?
My pets?
Just, yeah.
Okay. We used to have a dog named Kelly.
Okay.
Kelly was a Husky German Shepherd mix.
Okay.
And we have friends that lived across the street, and I'd always go across the street to play football in their backyard and everything. Mm-hmm. And this is when I lived back in Buffalo. We had big yards, no fences, neighbors all got along, good times.
Okay.
Busy street.
Yeah.
Kelly this dog was so awesome, you could leave her in the yard for the entire day, and she would never leave the yard and be in the yard by herself. Never get distracted.
No fence, no gate?
No fence, no gate.
Oh, okay.
Never leave the yard.
Wow, okay.
You go across the street
dog.
You go across the street to get the mail. She'd lay at the end of the driveway, watch you get the mail, and wait for you to come back and follow you right back in the house.
Okay.
I used to go across the street and play football. She'd lay in the front yard, watch me across the street playing football and that. Never run across the street, never come chase after you, and just wait for you to come home and come back.
Did anything ever happen and she was like, oh, I'm going to run across the street because Kris is in trouble? You ever get anything like that?
No, I got hit by a car once in front of that same street.
And was she still laying on the front driveway waiting for you to come back?
I don't think she was outside at the time that happened.
Is he going to come back or not? I don't know.
But yeah, Kelly was an awesome
Oh, that's
dog.
cool. Okay, that's cool. Well, I had a dog. We had a dog. We lived together, a bunch of friends. Shadow. We saved her, Doberman Pinscher. We didn't pin her ears and didn't clip her tail. So she had a whip-like tail, and she had floppy ears, which was great. And a ton of energy. So ultimately, we're living in a house. We got fenced-off backyard. There's another dog next door. His name was Zeus. I don't know what kind of dog he was. He was a bigger dog. I think he was a mutt.
It's got to be a bigger dog.
Yeah, exactly. Zeus. Yeah, he wasn't like some Chihuahua, let's be honest. So, oh boy.
Would be a sweet name for
Speaking
a
of, here we go. So anyway... So Zeus and Shadow liked each other. So what they ended up doing was they discovered a way to dig holes under the grass, and that's how they would get to and from the yards, right?
Bank tunnel.
So then they were playing with each other. Yeah, exactly. So then we were like, well, we can't do that. We just didn't like that. We liked the neighbors. We liked each other. We knew each other, but we're just like we can't have that shit. Like they can't be digging up the dirt. So we fixed it so they couldn't do that.
Friggin' Romeo and Juliet.
So seriously. So then Shadow ended up teaching Zeus how to climb the fence. Because she could just jump up. She was she could just jump up on the fence and then jump over.
Hey, sweetheart, you climb that fence and get over here. We can keep doing it.
But he was too big. So I watched out my window because my window was facing the backyard, and I watched him once. And she jumped on the fence and held on, and then he jumped on the fence and held. I wish I had back then. I didn't have the cameras, so I couldn't the phone cameras and stuff.
That would have been some viral shit.
Oh, it would have been crazy. And she kind of climbs up and over, and she looks back. And he kind of climbs. I was like, what? And then she just jumps over, and he falls over because he's not used to it. Because I think it was one of his first times. But then they started running around the yard and playing with each other.
We made it.
That was amazing. That was one of the coolest things I've ever seen one of my own personal animals do is teach another dog to climb a fence so they could play together. It was crazy, man.
Wow.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty good, though.
Yeah, sometimes you just need some nookie. All right, John. My first one is...
Let's go.
What is your most memorable experience without power?
Ooh, without power. Oh, let's see. I don't even remember what age I was. There have been a number of power outage, but The one I remember the most was, I think it was 2004, one was on the northeastern seaboard, because you must have been in that one too, right? When the whole of New York, Rhode Island, like a bunch of that, and stretched all the way to Michigan, the power went out because one power station, like something happened, and that one power station controlled all the power for like the northeastern seaboard, and it went out for like 2 or 3 days. And I remember I was actually driving to a friend's at that point where the power was out, and I remember driving by a gas station, and there were cars lined up. Now, it was the second day we were without power, and they weren't sure how long it was going to be when to come back. But there were 2 cars, well, there were many cars, but there were 2 cars right in the front. And then as I was driving by, I looked over, and I heard, because everything's going slow, because no lights, nothing, some guy's like, no, you took my spot. I'm getting gas before you. And then they started throwing down. But there was no gas because there was no electricity.
Another Donnybrook?
Yes, it actually happened to be another Donnybrook with no power this time. And it was out of control. I mean, it wasn't like the fight was like, but like they started, and I had to keep driving, but I was like, that was crazy. The power had, I thought it was 2004, if memory serves, like maybe 2002, I'm not sure. But it was just, I'm like, and I wanted to be like, guys, there's not even electricity. Why are you fighting? And you're the first 2. It's not even like someone cut you off and you're like the 20th car. Like, you're the first 2, so who cares if he gets in first when it's turned on? Like, who cares, right? It's going to be turned on. I mean, it's just, anyway.
Anarchy, man.
Just after 2 days.
The second the power.
If this country goes out without power for a week, I fear a month, I guarantee the country would fall apart.
I'll be eating you by Thursday.
Do you know what I'm saying? That's exactly what I'm saying. So what about you?
For me, I don't know if this was the same storm or not, but it was called, around Western New York, it's known as the October Storm. It was a beast, John. And I'd say it was the inciting incident of me leaving Buffalo, because that was my last winter.
Oh, wow.
I lived in Amherst at the time in a duplex with my girlfriend at the time and her friend.
Okay.
So 2 females that were not, let's say, woodsy, outdoorsy young ladies. Mm-hmm. Not the type not survivalists, if you will, John.
Okay.
But we did have a fireplace in our townhouse, and when the October storm hit, it was brutal because a lot of the leaves and stuff hadn't finished falling off the trees because it hit early in October. I think it was 2007.
Okay.
And freeze the branches and everything. So
ice storm.
Yeah, it was a brutal ice storm. And power lines fell down, huge trees fell down from the weight of the ice, roads were blocked, and people couldn't get anywhere. And I'm in the middle of a densely populated suburb, and we couldn't even get off our street because the trees are down, branches are down, everywhere. No power. I think it was like 4 days everybody went without power.
Whoa.
And this is, I lost so many collector's edition Christmas ornaments that my mom bought me for every NFL team that existed. There was a lot of personal items and packages and stuff that we had in boxes in the basement.
Wow, okay.
And we lost it all because the basement flooded because the sub pump couldn't stay running because of the storm and all that type of stuff.
Funny.
But the crazy part, so the storm lasts 3-4 days. Our basement's flooded in water. We can't even get down there. And there's no heat. There's no nothing. And it was frigid temperatures for the entire week. I was out front with a steak knife cutting down the bushes to put in the fire to have to have something to burn, man.
A steak knife?
Steak knife cutting down bushes.
You couldn't just snap the limbs in half, or why'd you have to use a steak knife? That's not gonna cut them.
No, a serrated steak knife. Oh, yeah, dude, I was cutting bushes down, man. I keep these ladies warm.
Did you use the steak knife after you used it on the tree? Did you ever use it on food after that?
I'm sure it got washed. All we did was cut wood with it.
I'm just saying, but you probably dulled the shit out of it.
Oh,
cutting wood.
Hey, we had to stay warm, John. It was like another day, and we'd have been burning furniture. We had already lined up the priority list of what was going to get burned, and it was nuts.
That's horrible, man. Well, I've never been quite that bad. That's
all right.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Well, staying on the theme of power outages, since obviously you had one here, and we're discussing it now. What would be the one appliance you couldn't live without during a power outage? It's only one appliance. One. What's the number one thing you want?
Well, that's a tough question, John.
I know.
Because all the appliances don't work when the power's out.
Right. So if you could have one appliance work, which one appliance would it be?
It's a toss-up between the TV or the fridge. But by the TV working, what I really want to work is the PlayStation.
Yeah, but that's 2 appliances.
Exactly. So you null me out there.
Yes. Yep. That's why I'm asking.
It's either the TV or the fridge. I'm going to go the TV because the fridge can retain its coolness for a period of time.
Okay.
Whereas the TV cannot show me videos for a period of time without power.
Okay.
What about you?
I mean, it's definitely a difficult... I didn't even really think about my own answer because I was going to tell the internet, but if the internet, then you need the computer to run. So it's like, now is it the cable modem or the internet or the computer? I would say my computer. I would say my computer because I could write on my computer. I've got some stuff I can read on my computer. I've got some videos I could watch on my computer. Now, if I couldn't recharge it, then I guess that would be that. But yeah, I'd say the laptop. Not so bad. That wasn't too bad.
All right, John, I got a real quick one, down and dirty. Which do you like better, Christmas Eve or Christmas Day?
Ooh, well, that's a tough one. That's a good one because obviously both could potentially be the winner. One or the other. If I had to choose one, obviously that's what you're ultimately saying. I guess I like Christmas Eve because, again, on Christmas Eve is when we would go to see the family that I mentioned just earlier in the show. And it was interesting. It was always fun. And then you knew you could come home and you had all those presents waiting for you on Christmas Day. So you had a good night on Christmas Eve. You got some good food. You got to see some good family. Hopefully have some laughs. Play some games. Come home. Know you're going to wake up the next day. So I'd say Christmas Eve. Even though Christmas Day you open the gifts, I'd have to say Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve is definitely for me too.
Yeah.
We always partied on Christmas Eve. Once I was old enough, we went to the bars on Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve was always like more for friends and going out and having fun and all of that. And then Christmas Day was all the...
As you get older, of course. Oh, yeah. As you get older, of course. Yeah, definitely. Huge fan.
All right, John. You decided to come at me with an extra one?
I'm actually going to take it. I'm actually going to vacate on it because I don't really think it's that. Well, what the hell? We'll wrap it up. We'll wrap it up on this note.
All right.
So since in the thought, in the holidays and the mindset of the holidays and the gift and the idea of giving. Last question. It's not even really a bullet blitz. What do you think is the best present you've ever given to somebody else? Not gotten, but given to somebody else.
I don't know, John. I would say I've never given a truly great gift. I have a lot of truly great gifts I want to give.
I understand, but that's not the question. It's not what great gift. It's like, what is the best present you've given to someone else? So don't compare it to what you want to give them. Of all the gifts you've given, what do you think is the best Christmas? Well, I didn't even say Christmas, but the best Christmas present you've given someone.
I cannot think of a worthy gift, and that's tremendously sad.
I wouldn't say that.
Well,
there's tons of gifts you've given. You probably maybe you can't think of one off the top of your head. And since I didn't present you with the present, or maybe I did. Did we go over this beforehand? I might have actually presented to you early.
I'm going to say no.
You're going to say no?
No.
What is the best present you've given to someone else? No.
No, I'm saying no, we didn't go over this earlier. So
we did. Oh, thank you.
Was that
thank you.
John, you got a bus sound effect
Thanks
over
for
there?
the say. I wish I did. Hang on. I will give this one, though. It takes 2 seconds. Here we go.
You were throwing John under it. All I did was rescue.
He fucked up.
It was at this moment. He knew he got hit.
Let's give him a little...
All right, John. What's the best gift you've given?
Well, it's moderately arrogant to assume that you've given the amazing gifts. It was kind of a loaded question, truth be told. That being said, I did actually give my... a long time ago, I gave a friend tickets to an NSYNC concert. That's a throwback to a few episodes ago.
You know what? I am gonna throw. I am gonna throw a gift out there that.
What's that, homie? What's that?
And I'll even give credit where credit is due.
Perfect. It should always be that way.
Andrea came up with the idea. Andrea insisted we do it.
What?
But we sent my sister a body pillow thing for when she got pregnant, and
I bet she loved it.
Was a pregnant young lady. She claims to have loved it. She says it did wonders for her. She used it all the time.
Sure.
We did not get any physical proof or any pictures of her squeezing the pillow and got it in action.
But you got to go with the trust that she wasn't. Why would she lie?
She claimed it was a great gift.
Okay, well there you go. See, that was one of the best presents you've ever given someone else.
Because she doesn't watch Gratcast, I'm going to tell you another great gift she's going to get.
Ooh, what's that?
They eat at the kitchen.
These are such great gifts now.
They eat at the dining room table all the time.
Okay.
And watch TV and sports, Sabres games all at the dining room table. Not the dining room table. In their living room, they've got like a coffee table.
Sure, that makes more sense.
Yeah, that they eat off of all the time.
Okay.
This young, lovely, yuppie couple that just had their first child.
Okay, congratulations, by the way.
They need some freaking TV trays, John. They need some damn TV trays, and they're getting some.
Whoa. I'd have to say that's the gift that might keep on giving. You can use it for years.
Oh, absolutely.
For years to come.
Rack of 4 coming.
Rack of 4. On that note,
all right, John.
We're gonna have to hit beat feet, guys.
Let's bring this Gratcast to an end.
But
we didn't
seriously,
even know if it was gonna happen.
That's okay. It managed to work out okay for the most part. There's some crazy noises around here, but seriously, happy holidays to y'all, and we're wishing you the very best. We'll see you next week, okay?
Yep. Now it's time, John.
Let's hit them.
And we get to dance this week because there's no outro.
Seriously?
There's no graphic. That's
Let's go get them.
Yep.
I don't know why I'm dancing like you. That's a horrible dance. I don't know. It's like
there's only so much you can do while sitting down.
This is like the dance in Caddyshack, like the gopher.
You gotta get some shoulder movement.
Right? I got some shoulder movement.
I don't know what the fuck just happened. I don't care. I'm gonna get the fuck up out of here.
I'm so sorry that he sings every week.
It's a good song to sing.
Every week I know, but come on, dude. They want to hear the song, not you.
And they can download the song.
Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, everyone.
Ditto.
End this shit show.